Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Alice. I do videos about minimalism but in a more sustainable and realistic way. And in today's video I want to share with you my absolute worst shopping mistakes since I became a minimalist. Now, as someone who is trying to live a little bit more minimally and more sustainably, I try to be as intentional as I can with every single purchase and to really spend the time to try and understand if it is something that I really need, that makes sense for me, that I love, etc, etc. But as every other person on earth, I also make mistakes, and some of these purchases didn't really turn out as great as I thought they were. So I thought it could be nice to go through them a little bit to make a fun of myself, but also because it could really be nice to try and understand together what went wrong there and why, so that we can all learn from my mistakes and avoid making them again, hopefully in my case. So the number one is also my most recent, and this is my agenda. Now, a physical agenda is something that I absolutely need. I try to do without it and it doesn't work for me. And I wanted one with this specific layout because I want to have week on one side and empty on the other side so that I can take notes. And let me tell you, this is very difficult to find. Also, this is absolutely beautiful. It's handmade and it's done with recycled paper. So it ticks all the boxes. There's nothing really wrong per se with the agenda, and I will link the link of the seller down below because she does amazing things. The problem is that this is fabric in a very light color, and I'm a very clumsy person and I throw my agenda everywhere. Like, it's really, I'm not the type of person that leaves the agenda on the desk all the time. I bring it with me everywhere and I toss it everywhere. This means that this got dirty very quickly. And this is something I should have considered, and I should have either went for better material, I mean sturdier material that doesn't show wear and tear so fast, or if I really wanted canvas, then it needed to be a darker color. But the combination of light color plus canvas really doesn't work for me, and I should have known better. Number two is the camera I'm filming on, and this is painful because it was very expensive. Honestly, again, a camera was something that I absolutely needed. I couldn't continue doing videos on my phone, and the problem was that I already had an older camera that did only pictures because it was an older model, and my choice was to either keep that camera and then buying something extra just for filming, or to give away that camera and then buying basically an upgraded version that could do both. And as every good minimalist, I thought, why having two specialized items when can I have just one item that does both jobs? So I went for option number two. And that's good in theory, but honestly in hindsight I should have gone for option number one, and that's because the camera I'm using is very big. And this means that I never bring it with me when I'm going out and about or when I'm going to work, because it takes too much space, and it's also relatively fragile, so you don't just want to chunk it in there. And secondly, even inside the house, it's so big that I'm quite limited with where I can put it, which is one of the reasons why I'm always using the same setting. It's kind of the only place where I can put it. So honestly, probably it could have been better to keep the other one for pictures and then buying a smaller vlogging camera mainly for filming, and that I could have also used out and about for doing pictures. Granted, the pictures wouldn't have been as nice and fancy as this camera, but it's still better than no picture because you never bring the camera with you. And to be honest, this is something I should have think of it, because my old camera had the same problem. This is why I basically stopped using it. It was simply too big. So yeah, bad decision, Alice, bad decision. Next is my blazer, and this is again very painful because I honestly spent a long time debating whether I really wanted a blazer and what specific type of blazer I wanted. And even when I chose this one, I think I went to the shop like 3 times to try it on before deciding to buy it. So far from being an impulse purchase, and yet I used it only a couple of times in a 4-year frame, which is absolutely not enough. And I think that the problem is that it has shoulder pads, it's very fitted but longer style, and it has a very the typical office suit kind of fabric. And all of this together makes it really an office blazer, and this means that if I try to wear it with casual outfit, it doesn't work. It clashes too much in a very unflattering way. and if I try to wear it with more elegant style, again, either it makes them very office-like or it just doesn't work. So bottom line is really not versatile enough for me. I kept it for so long because, you know, a blazer is an essential. Everyone should have a blazer in their wardrobe, but there's no point to keep a blazer that you're never going to use. So in the end, I decided to sell it. Next is the menstrual cup. Now, I did an entire video already explaining everything I loved and hated of the menstrual cup and why I eventually stopped using it. So I refer to that video. And few things, honestly, I could not know until I tried it out. But there was at least one thing that I should have thought at. And that is the fact that I never really used tampons because I hate the idea and the sensation of something stayed inside me for so long. Also, because it's not something that you really see or feel, I completely freak out, and I always afraid that I might have been dirty or something like this, and I go check like 1,000 times in a day, and that's really not good. So considering that the menstrual cup kind of works in the same way, it would have been quite obvious that it wouldn't have been the greatest option for me. But I was so obsessed with the sustainability side of it and with the fact that it is the most sustainable option out there that I really wanted it to work, and I didn't think at anything else. And the reality is that even from a sustainability point of view, what the hell am I going to do with this? It's not something I can give to someone else. It's super difficult to recycle. So yeah, I'm stuck with this, and there's no real good reason. I should have thought better. Next one is the Kartell bedside table, and this is honestly not a complete fail because we both love it and we are actually using it. I still consider it a fail though for myself because I bought it for the wrong reasons. So long story short, I always loved the design, but because it cost so much money, both new and second hand, I never even considered buying it. And then it popped up on Facebook Marketplace unattended, and I had that sense of scarcity that would have been my only opportunity to have it, and that was a great design, and it was a very minimal, very sleek, and it was a chest of drawers, so for sure I would have found a way to use it in my house. The problem was that because I never really considered buying it, I never spent enough time to really decide if it would have made sense to buy it for my house. And the reality is that yes, it's a chest of drawers, but it's small and round, which is why I love it. I love round things, but it's a bedside table, so it doesn't really hold all that much. And yes, it's white and minimal, which again is why I love it, but it's very modern. And our house, and especially the bedroom, are quite vintage looking, mainly because the majority of our items are actually vintage items, so very modern piece doesn't work. In the end, we managed to put it in the living room, which is the most modern part of the house, and my boyfriend put there all his games and cables and stuff. So as I said, we are really using it and we love it, but it's more something that we made it work because we had it than something that I should have bought because we actually needed it. So lesson learned, I need to don't give in into the sense of scarcity. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what was your worst purchase that you still love. I'm very curious to know if I'm the only psycho here. And thank you so much for watching again. As always, please remember to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe, and until next time, bye!